Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another video on Marvel Contest of Champions. This one is a kind of a follow-up. If you know, recently I had a, well, let's just say, alright crystal opening. It looked a little bit like this. Opening 7 5-star basics and getting 7 new champions. I haven't seen that at all, or, you know, if you're new to the game, you probably will. For all intents and purposes, let's classify that as obsolete, and we should have delete that particular video. Unfortunately not, because, you know, money's tight nowadays and I need to rely on the YouTube money, so that would be a pretty bad decision. But to really kind of say in a nutshell what that was to me was more cannon fodder for Arena. Yes, I'm putting a positive spin on it because yes, it would be considered in the community as being a trash opening. But there were a couple of good champions, one of which we're going to cover in today's video. This particular video focuses on Proxima, the one that appears at midnight. I've got the unawakened version here, the 4-star, and up here I've got a 5-star version. This is the one that I recently got and subsequently awakened. In the first half of 2018, we got, as part of the content contributor program, this champion at level 99 signature to then play about with. Now, at the time, yeah, you do get a lot of time to kind of experiment with the champion, and we all knew in the community that the damage output from doing things with the mission does mean that the champion does a lot of damage. And if I wasn't considering what I'm doing with my rank ups, I probably would have a straight up to rank 4. But there may be an option at a future date to put it up to a 565. The reason I said to myself, hey Rich, you've got to awaken her, is because I want to get more attack damage. And as we know, with the signature ability being awakened, you're able to get more damage. The core reasons for me awakening her are based on the fact that I want to get that Fury buff. As we can see here, when you reach a 100 hit combo, you're then able to get a Fury buff and then increase your attack rating, which is really important, especially when you want to damage output with this champion. And also the true accuracy permanent buff is still like an added extra that's quite nice. And also, as we know, and what I want to see in the future, is increasing the signature level, which therefore increases the attack rating on this champion for those Fury buffs. Can't wait, happy days. The way the champion works, in order to kind of create stronger buffs around special attacks and other such beneficial effects, is to complete missions. These missions, if you choose to accept them, will be whatever they will be, and at the end they'll explode. No, that's the plot line for most Mission Impossible films, but in this case, it's all about completing the missions, which then allow you to get better buffs around things like special attacks. There's 3 missions in total. 2 of them are pretty easy. There's one that I'm a bit unsure about. Right, okay, so the knockdown one is based on you doing heavy attacks and special attacks. Then parry, which is pretty darn obvious. Well-timed blocks are going to be able to, you know, sort you out with getting that mission done. But the intercept, and I've played about with a few times with this, in that I've intercepted and I've not seen the number go down, and I don't know if this is to do with a bug. I don't know whether or not it's a correct intercept. How it really logs it is another thing that I'm not 100% sure with. I'll be putting footage up at the moment and showing the 4 attempts to do it, which should satisfy the requirement, but it doesn't seem that it does bring down those numbers. You'll see that it starts off quite well, and then it's a case I do one, but I don't see, I think it hovers on 2 but doesn't go down, so I don't know what the deal is with that. Another added benefit that's pretty cool, she can parry things like projectiles, so yeah, that is quite unique and something that I think that people really enjoy this character for. And going up against regeneration champions, putting in an SP1 is going to be absolutely dynamite in order to get loads of attack rating. I personally spam a lot of the L2, especially at the point when I've built up all those mission complete, as well as hitting up the combos now that she's awakened. This champion is a real benefit to my roster. I'm so glad that I did get this from the trash opening that I recently had. Proxima Midnight's primary use is going to be in an offensive format. It's not a defender at all. It's really not. Proxima Midnight's core usage is going to be as an offensive based champion. Using her in defense, no, unless you want some sort of diversity, and even then I probably wouldn't recommend the champion being put in, but you're more likely going to use it in an offensive format. Also, she comes about the time where there was 2 characters that do really powerful SP2s, and you know, that's well, it's actually 3 at the time. It was Captain America, World War II, then you got Corvus Glaive and herself. Also, I would say that the champion is of great use to things like Labyrinth of Legends, though I haven't tried it as of yet, and I probably wouldn't do that unless I had a rank 4. That would be a good point to kind of go, right, well, I'll put her in and see how she fares. Labyrinth of Legends, as new champions go, they're being put in to be as strong to take on those particular enemies, even though maybe they wouldn't satisfy the node requirements, and it would be quite frustrating to kind of go, right, well, I need to get this under the point of the attack rating, and it's going to likely be over, and that's another story for another video on another day. But the fact is, Proxima Midnight is tipped as one of those champions that could be used for things like Labyrinth of Legends and any difficult content, and it's really exciting to see tie-ins with films. Having Proxima Midnight, which doesn't have a huge amount of comic book history surrounding her, it's still good to see a member of the Black Order being put in, along with her husband, Corvus Glaive. But also her synergies are pretty darn good and strengthen around things like her offensive abilities. When getting true accuracy, she's able to increase her attack rating, and at the same time it's beneficial effects for Nebula if you've got her in your team, as she gets and starts the fight with 10 electroshock charges. And I personally like to do the thing where you build up to about 20 and then you have an L2, and what happens is, like, you go into a parry, you then hit off the L2 and you just put on a tasty amount of electroshock charges, which basically means that the enemy is going to die of shock. If you want to pad out the team with a Thor Ragnarok, it basically means that you're going to be able to have a shield against losing combos. So say, for whatever reason, you lose your combos, and in the name of the game with the signature ability is to have lots of combos on the meter. And losing a load is going to be really annoying because you're going to have to build that back up. But with this, synergy allows you to keep a 50 in the tank. And also adding Corvus Glaive into the mix does mean that there's going to be a less cutoff, which is usually 100 hits in order to get the ultimate mission. Now with Corvus, it's 75. And if you're thinking of padding it out with some more attack, then hey, you've got some champions here. If these are in your roster, man, it's going to be quite powerful. And this is the first time that I've seen a synergy grouping together, where if I created 5 champions around it, I'd be pretty happy with going into questing formats and questing in general. So if you had a 5-star Scarlet Witch, and hopefully one day we do, or even a 5-star or 6-star Hulk Ragnarok with a Corvus Glaive, with a Thor Ragnarok, with a Nebula, and obviously with Proxima Midnight, I would go like, hey, that's a really decent questing team to either have some immunities to poison and bleed, also, you know, hitting up so much more damage. So yeah, that's the first time I've seen in a long time where a synergy grouping could really take on quests quite hard. But in any case, I've said too much about why I really enjoy this champion. I'm really excited, as you can tell, to add Proxima Midnight into my roster, and at the same time I hope that you're able to put her into your roster as well. Do look out for when she lands in the basic, and I think she's recently gone into the basic arena, and when she does come around again, she is a good asset to add into your roster and a great option to awaken, especially at lower levels for the 4-star. If you ever get your hands on a 5-star, oh boy, you'll know why she's such a decent champion. She's quite good when it comes to being unawakened, but awakened, yeah, she starts to come into her own. And also make sure to get the people in the synergy that are going to make her a little bit more powerful. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video today, then hit that like button and subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content. I've been RichTheMan, and I shall catch you in the next one. Bye bye for now.